If you have a problem using your Mr. Heater Buddy with a 1-pound propane tank in extreme cold weather, this video might be for you. I recently did a video where I was testing out my Mr. Heater Buddy in my 13 by 13 teepee tent, and I was trying to see how hot the tent could get in extreme weather. It was about minus 24 that day. So the problem I found in that video is that the Mr. Buddy heater just wasn't working efficiently, and in fact, when I had it on high, it kept shutting off after a while. In that video, I tested out 2 separate tanks, and with both of them, they kept shutting off. After, I took it inside and it ran like a champ using both of the tanks for 45 minutes. So I'm pretty sure that cold was the issue. Those tanks got pretty frozen. I got some comments saying that a 20-pound tank is what people use and it works fine, which makes sense because it's a bigger tank. You have more liquid in there. It's going to take a longer time for everything to freeze up. So I hear that works really good. 20-pound tanks, though, aren't always feasible when you're heading out to the bush. You just might want to take 2 or 3 of these 1-pound tanks and you want them to work, right? My wife came across a video from a channel called Life of Riley, and they had a solution for the big 20-pound tanks that were freezing on them. So I'm going to try that with the smaller 1-pound tanks and see if that's going to make this buddy heater work more efficiently in the cold weather. So just to get this test started, we're going to kind of recreate the conditions from last time. Outside right now, it's about minus 22 degrees Celsius. And inside, we are about minus 19 or 18 degrees Celsius. And I've had both the 1-pound tank and the buddy heater outside for probably about a half an hour now, just to kind of acclimatize them to our current situation here. The last time I had the buddy heater right on the ground. This time I have them on these 2 bricks here. Before I try out the technique that I think is going to make the Mr. Heater Buddy work more efficiently in the cold weather, I'm going to let the heater run for about a half an hour, and then I'm going to come back and then we're going to try the other technique and see if we can get it running more efficiently. Okay, so we're all set. You can see that the fan is just starting to turn here. The heat is cranking. I'll aim the fan right at the thermometer, and then when I come back, we can check the temperature of the thermometer. And when we try the new technique, we'll be able to set this up the same way, pointing kind of towards here, and we'll know if it was more efficient heat-wise or not for sure.
I'll start your timer for 30 minutes.
One thing I want you to notice is that I'm leaving the flap open just to make sure that there is an oxygen flow here to the heater. And I also want to pay attention to the intensity of the heat glow from the heater, just to compare that to when we come back. I'm back at a half an hour now, and everything is still going pretty good. The heater seems to be going pretty strong. The temperature right now is about almost 2 degrees Celsius. So I'm actually going to leave this for another half an hour and see how it is. Things seem to be going good, but I want to let some of the propane get lower in the tank and see if that tank frosts up or what's going to happen. You can see here that the tank is kind of frosting up a little bit. So really where the challenge will be is if that 1-pound propane tank ends up freezing, will it run as efficiently, or will it keep running at all? Okay, so half an hour passed. Let's check the temperature. Temperature, we're sitting about minus 10 degrees Celsius. Now let's check the glow on the heater. Oh look, there's nothing. So I took this off. You can see how really frozen this is, and this is where the new technique comes in. So the way I understand how propane works is that it's liquid, right? And so when it gets exposed to the air, it turns into a gas, like it boils and turns into a gas and gets burned, or you use it for whatever you need to. So as it gets colder, this freezes, and then the liquid inside wants to stay liquid. The outside air is colder, so it doesn't want to vaporize as well as it was, and so the gas flow either stops or just, you know, slows down significantly. Okay, so let's try something out. I don't know if I showed you, but there's lots of propane in here, like at least half a tank. So what we're gonna do is put this frozen tank back on here. So here's what we're gonna try. This is lukewarm water in here. It's not hot, it's not cold, lukewarm. Also, if you try this at your own risk, okay? Just have to say that. This is what it looks like. Okay, now we're gonna fire it back up, see how it does. Okay, I've got the thermometer set back here. Now, we're actually at about minus 14 degrees Celsius right now. You can see my breath pretty good. But what I'm hoping for now is that that bucket of water is going to stop that bottle from freezing, from that propane from getting too cold, and it will continue to work really good. So I'm going to leave this running. I'm going to check it about every 15 minutes. I probably won't check in with you unless it shuts off or whatever. And then I'm going to let that tank run dry and see what happens.
I'll start your timer for 30 minutes.
Okay guys, another half an hour's gone by. Time to check the temperature. So we're about 2 degrees Celsius. And time to check the glow. Look at that. It's glowing the way it's supposed to be glowing when it's on high. Yeah, so I'm totally happy with that. Warmed everything right back up. The water is cold. It's no longer lukewarm. It's not ice cold, but it's cold. But the tank's not frozen. And so if you're out camping or you're ice fishing or whatever, you probably brought something to cook with. So, you just warm up some water, have an ice cream pail or something like that, and try it out. Again, I probably wouldn't put hot water on there because, cold steel and hot water wouldn't be good, but lukewarm, you can see it works really good. One thing I want to say though, is when you're camping, always be prepared for your heaters, whatever you're heating your tent with, to fail, and bring your sleeping gear that's going to protect you for the weather that's outside, what your weather's going to be. So if it's going to be, say, minus 15 degrees Celsius, bring something that is comfort rated for minus 15 degrees Celsius. Also, always bring a carbon monoxide detector with you. If you're sleeping in your tent, you have a hot stove or you have some sort of heating apparatus like your propane tanks, because safety first always. So I'm going to let this tank keep running, and I'm just going to check it from the house ever so often. And once it runs out, I'll come back. We'll have a look and see how everything went, if the tank is fully used or if it somehow froze or whatever. This is my first time doing this too, but it's so logical and it's obviously working. So it's 40 minutes later. You can see that it's still running like a champ. It's running really good. So that water definitely helped, because in the other video, I even put a new tank on. It shut off after a little while. So neither one of the tanks made it anywhere near the empty mark of the tank. So I know we're getting closer. I don't know what we are. We're somewhere around the 2-hour mark, or just over the 2-hour mark, probably 2 hours, 15 minutes, something like that. Anyways, that this has been running. So that is really awesome. And we're gonna keep letting it rip. And the temperature outside right now is 25 degrees Celsius. That's cold. Okay, I'll see you when the tank runs out. Okay, so check this out. There's actually ice. There's actually ice on the top layer here. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty frozen on there. I don't even know if I can get it off. The tank is bone dry. So using the water method, that used every ounce of this, and these bottles get really frozen when they're at the end of their life, even in a warm situation, so they frost over. So there you have it. There's a hack to use your Mr. Heater Buddy in the very cold weather with the 1-pound tanks. Like, this is extremely cold. It's minus 25. I'm gonna get in because it's freezing. I hope this was useful for you, and remember the most important thing, folks, take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.